Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my current VALORANT meta, version 3.0. Alright, with another 100 hours of gameplay and a couple of buffs and nerfs to some of the agents, here's the new refined agent tier list. And don't forget, if you want to know how each of the agent's skills work specifically, refer back to the version 1.0 where I break down every single agent and their skills. That will be linked in the description. Okay, with all that being said, let's get to the tier list. We'll start with S, and that is the biggest change. I had to take Brim from an A tier to an S tier. He's basically one of the most important characters on any team. You need him to basically take a site. Without Brimstone, capping any site as an attacking team is almost nearly impossible because Omen does have smokes and so does Jet, but Omens are far too slow. And they basically reveal that you're going to be pushing that site, where Brim you can slowly move in and then triple smoke a site and then push as a unit, right? And the more and more I play the game, the more I notice the power in that skill. Sage and Breach are still some of the best champs in the game, even though Sage has been nerfed. Her wall now needs to touch a floor to make contact for it to be built. So you can no longer like hard wall, like split mid and other areas of the map where it's hovering over the wall. And they changed the way her slow works, so you can no longer hop through it, but it no longer makes noise. So it was kind of like a buffer. The next big thing was bringing Phoenix up to A tier. The more and more I see Phoenix, the more I understand that he's a very strong offensive champion and facilitates really strong trades. And at a high level play, you will facilitate entry frag trades with him, and it's super powerful. He's one of the strongest offensive heroes in the game, and I would say if you are to put any offensive type hero, like, you know, Phoenix, Raze, Jet on the team, I would say he's the pick. And then obviously Cypher is still an A tier. I'm noticing more and more that he is a pretty good viable offensive champion, as well as just being the strongest defensive champion in the game, but it takes a lot of coordination and cooperation from the team. All right, so now the biggest change I think in the agent tier list from the last version is Omen being B tier, and not just being B tier, but being the best B tier. Almost considered putting him A tier because of his buffs. They finally changed the way they fixed the invincibility issue with his ult, and they made it so it's a lot harder to hear him when ulting. So him being able to teleport to anywhere on the map has become a lot easier, and it's a lot harder for teams to really understand where he's going to be, so he can teleport into his own smokes and really get a nice flank going. It's actually significantly better. And of course we still have Sova and Viper in the B tier. They're still really strong champions or agents, and I would say that they're great picks. The next big shakeup is Raze going down to C tier from B tier. With her nerf to her nades, the splash damage on her ult, and just basically gutting the character, she's not as much of an offensive powerhouse as she was before. So in a team game, she's not as good as she used to be, right? So I wouldn't say to pick her as offensive champion for your team. You know, she's still a great solo champion, and if you're trying to solo carry, she's still really strong, right? The nades still do a ton of damage, but now you have to get 2 kills to get the nade, right? So not being able to double nade an area and them doing less damage, and then her ult also doing less damage, you know, doesn't make it a guaranteed kill every time now. So she's not completely unusable, but her viability has dropped a lot. She was just inherently the strongest offensive champion in the game, and now she's almost at the point where, like, on a team, I'd rather have someone else. And then Jet has stayed the same. Someone in my last video made a really good point about Jet, and I really want to point this out. I think she's actually an amazing opper, and playing her and seeing how her offensive, like her opping ability is, she's actually a great opper, but I still don't think that facilitates her being on a team. Maybe if you do have a main opper in this game, and you have a main aggressive opper on this game in your team, then maybe I see a Jet being picked. I'd still rather have someone playing backside with an op, and you can do that with anybody rather than playing Jet close up with an op. And the only difference for the final team is I've replaced Raze and put in Omen. I think that Omen's having additional smokes, which I always said are one of his best skills, and now the buff to his ultimate, I think has made him an extremely viable pick and allows for like disruption of the enemy team really well, right? Because you throw your smokes with Brim, you throw your smokes with him, he activates his ult, and then that disrupts the entire enemy team. You get to push on a site easier. You know, the blind is really it's really good now. And overall, I think he's just been improved a lot and has become a much higher picked or a higher tier champion. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to leave a like, rating, and a comment. And like I said, if you want to know what each character does, check out the tier 1 link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me